Hey guys, Youngblood with you for your Should You Buy video on the Xi'an Nox, which is up for sale right now for $40, or you can get it on a War Bond cash-only discount at $35. In addition to that, you can pick up a 2-pack or a 5-pack for discounted prices as well, in case you want to start an open canopy racing team, or what most are probably going to do is buy a pack of LTI tokens, and these are going to be on sale until July 3rd. Now, lore-wise, the Nox was built by the Xi'an after they were exposed to the Dragonfly by some humans, and the Xi'an, looking to recreate that thrill, decided it was time to get crazy and make their own bike. Now, it's been in production for a while, and humans have had some exposure to it through buying broken ones and trying to fix them up on their own, but now in lore is the first time that these new models, which have been customized for humans, are on sale to us. And as part of this first-time sale to humans, they've offered a limited silver gray release of the standard Nox, which is black, called the Q. So it's, a lighter version of the darker one that comes standard. Now, as far as this ship itself is concerned, it's seriously the hotness. The design is phenomenal, and it combines the looks of fast and sleek and aggressive and just sort of mean. It's got Xi'an technology on board that is similar to the Car2Wall, like magnetic technology for the nacelles and the handlebars that are connected via magnets instead of conventional bonds, meaning they sort of float there. It also has a sleek interface where they tried to minimize the amount of screens by just giving it one standard, but popping everything else up on a holographic display. The bike was made for speed. It's lightweight composite materials. It's got 16 total maneuvering thrusters on board, which appear to be clustered together along the body. The combination of these thruster groups and strong retro thruster up front means that this ship should be very agile, probably accentuated a bit by what I would assume would be articulated nacelles. And when comparing the ship to the Dragonfly, the Nox is more built with racing and combat in mind, while the Dragonfly focuses more on things like utility and scouting. The Nox has 2 size 1 fixed weapons on the underside of the ship, as well as a shield, though that is a vehicle-class shield, so nothing too powerful like a ship would have. It does protect the rider a little bit more than the Dragonfly, though, because you do lean forward and then you get armor plates that sort of rise up behind you to give you the pilot a little bit more cover from incoming fire. This should act like the Dragonfly, to where you can fly in space or you can fly on a planet, but you can't transition between the two due to the lack of thruster power to get off the planet and the shielding to protect you from entering the atmosphere. So we didn't get a ton of information in this post or the brochure, so we're definitely going to need to revisit this one once we get the Q&A out, probably middle of next week. But it is just a space bike. It's more of a vehicle than a ship, so with so much less capability, there is going to be less to discuss. So should you buy the Nox? First off, value for the ship for the price, it's not great. $40 could buy you a starter ship. That gives you a lot more bang for the buck. That being said, it's a vehicle, and you can take it places a ship may not be able to land on planets. More importantly, the Nox should be a lot of fun. I have a Dragonfly 2-pack and was planning on turning one of those into a Nox to give me the best of both worlds. I'm not planning on it being my go-to ship for anything, but if you want to have some fun, or if I need to go do some stuff on planets, I'd consider bringing it along. Where things get a little bit more interesting in this discussion is when you compare it to the Dragonfly, and you're only going to buy one, which do you get? Well, if you plan on doing anything that requires 2 people, like search and rescue, then it has to be the Dragonfly. If you need to haul any tiny amount of cargo, then it has to be the Dragonfly. Now, if you plan to do racing, it sounds like the Nox is the obvious choice, even though we do hear about the Dragonfly competing in open canopy racing. If you're looking for ground combat, ATV made it sound like the Nox was going to be better in that scope, but the Dragonfly may end up being more durable, and you can bring along a second person with a railgun, so there's that in favor of the slower and bulkier Dragonfly. But that also leaves the player a little bit more exposed in combat than what's a little bit more protected with the Nox. Now, if you want to do some infiltration in space in a small vehicle, then the Nox appears to be stealthier, faster, and protects the player more, so I think that gets the win in that category. It's funny. They're the only 2 open canopy crafts that we have today, but they are incredibly different in their own rights. So I think it's important to remember that no quantum drive, no jump engine, no cargo, no ability to leave the planet or leave space to get to the planet. It has to be transported by something else. There's some drawbacks here. And I point those out not because I think this is a bad ship by any means. I'm actually a big fan of this one. But I point it out because I think if you want a really cool, fun, and potentially fairly useful ship, then my answer is yes, this is a vehicle to buy. But you do have to understand what the limitations are before you jump in and get this ship. And remember that it does have less versatility and utility than the Dragonfly does, or something even like the Ursa Rover. So you might find more value in one of those options first. So that's it. We're going to cover a lot more details on this probably by the middle of next week when we typically get more questions and answers and details. Until then, let me know what your thoughts are on this ship. Thanks for watching. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and take care.